Good morning. This is Richard Peter here in Dallas, Texas, the founding member of the new Glorious National Party and its national political director. Last night, I had a very disturbing dream. I dreamed that there was a baby, I guess no more about 4 or 5 months old, asleep in a crib. And around the baby was a snake as thicker than an anaconda, whose head I could not see. And this snake was wrapping itself around this innocent child and starting to squeeze. And the baby began to cry. And then, almost by magic, the anaconda stopped squeezing and the baby began to smile again. The interpretation of that dream I'm about to give you now. When you think of the economy of the United States of America, I want you to think about it as blood in a human body. When that blood is restricted, the organs of the body starve and die. When the blood supply is pumping so hard that you get what's known as high blood pressure, you suffer from stroke and ultimate paralysis. Now the question is, listen very carefully, those of you who are hearing this tape today, who is in control of the blood supply of the American economy? For those of you who don't know the answer, it is the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve System. How does it restrict the flow of blood in the American economy? It sells the United States Treasury certificates that it owned simply by writing itself a check for it. It sells at the open market committee meeting its certificates that it holds, that they wrote hot checks to get to begin with. They never put up any gold or any kind of silver, any skin in the game. They simply receive these certificates by the trillions of dollars that they themselves have control over. And when they get ready, what they do is have an open, it's called open market committee, but nobody like you and I can go into that committee room and sit down on that on a leather chair around that mahogany table. We're not allowed to. But I guarantee you, after you hear this tape, you're going to demand from your representatives that we be allowed to sit in on these meetings, and that they be fully televised, and that probably the people that are conducting these meetings ultimately might have to be taken to a scaffold and hung because of what they've done to the American people, because of what they've done to your children, because of what they've done to your grandchildren. But let me tell you exactly how it works. I want you to see my hand. It's well, let me put it up here. It can squeeze or it can release. It can squeeze or it can release. It can squeeze or it can release. It's like somebody reached into your chest. Listen to me. And they have the power to squeeze your heart and release your heart, to squeeze your heart and release your heart. So what they do is when they want to squeeze your heart and make you feel pain, economically speaking, what they do is deliberately and consciously, on purpose, this is a deliberate act, it's not accidental. What they do is they sell the Treasury certificates, which they bought with a hot check, no money behind it, no gold behind it. And in doing that, they shrink the money supply, they shrink the blood supply, and the organs of Americans' economies begin to die. But listen carefully to me. They don't ever squeeze too hard to kill the patient, because they want you working as a slave in the field. So they just squeeze it enough to make you feel pain. And then they let go enough by selling these United States Treasury certificates that they own. They go out and sell it when they want to so-called expand the economy and lower interest rates among these so-called members of the cartel. They lower the interest rates among each other. Then they just release their hand a little bit, but not too much. And you begin to feel a little bit better, and you look to the guy in the White House, whoever it may be, Obama, Bush, whoever it may be, and you think, oh, he's the new Messiah. I feel better. I'm better. I feel no more pain for the moment. But the hand, the invisible hand, the Federal Reserve, has itself gripped around the economic heart of America. Yes, watch now. Watch. Watch. It squeezes when it wants, in the name of controlling prices and all the rest of it, and inflation, which they are the cause of. In a moment I'll reveal that to you. They squeeze your heart. And they don't kill you, though. They just squeeze it till you feel some slight discomfort and pain. And then they release it and let the blood flow a little again, so that you think that you're healthy again, when in fact you're still under control. But guess what? Something went wrong. By mistake, by divine accident, what happened is that they allowed the economy under Alan Greenspan to make loans that should have never been made, zero down loans with adjustable rate mortgages. They allowed people to borrow equity out of their homes. They encouraged people to borrow. The borrower is always a servant to the lender. They made a lot of money during this period of time, but this time they went too far. Alan Greenspan, either by accident or hopefully he's a good man, he did it on purpose, he absolutely destroyed this system, because there is so much debt now that they've created that nobody's ever going to be paid, ever going to pay this debt back. Trillions of dollars, and they want 2 trillion more. They are destroyed, they just don't know it yet. And let's just say it was by divine providence or divine accident. They use this mechanism of squeezing the heart and letting the heart go out so much that the patients still survive. We're alive and well, created in the image and likeness of God. The power that created starlight flows through our consciousness. We are the most productive people on earth. Why? Because we Americans, and everyone on earth that understands that the power that created starlight flows through them to create. The computer was created by the intelligence of the universe through Bill Gates and those people that formed Microsoft. We could solve our job problem if we would just relax, be silent before God, be quiet, and allow the power, the intelligence that created starlight to flow through us, and we would become the most productive, ingenious nation that we were when we founded the Constitution. Again, by relaxing and listening and being careful and letting the Constitution flow through our founding fathers from the inside out. Now, for those of you who don't believe in God, I'm sorry for you. Not to believe in God is not to plug your consciousness into the electricity that creates starlight. It's a stupid thing to do. Your TV isn't going to run if you don't plug it in. Same is true of your car. So I'm not ashamed to call myself a Christian. And I'm not ashamed to say that the Holy Spirit who raised Jesus Christ from the dead is living inside my consciousness and gives me insight and wisdom and the ability to create wonderful things that will make life easier for myself and others. That's what productivity is all about. That's what this nation should be built on, productivity. We are the glorious national party. That name was given to me by God, and I got the name out of the Magna Carta, the GNP, the gross national product. The party is known as the GNP. That's what you need to look at. Not the national debt, but the gross national product, both in terms of physical goods as well as intellectual services that we provide the country. All right, well, in the next tape, we're going to go further into this, but I just want you to understand for now that there's no way to repay this debt. The American dollar is going to be worth nothing, and this gives us the unique opportunity to create a new currency, and I'm going to show you I have shown you exactly how to do that and what needs to be done. Until we talk again tomorrow, this is Richard Peter, the founding member and the national political director of your new party, the Glorious National Party, the GNP, that ultimately stands for the return of the American currency to the American people and the exile of the Federal Reserve from these most holy shores we call the United States of America.